A very good morning to one and all present here. It has always been our endeavor to provide the students with an opportunity of a wholesome development for an appropriate and a dynamic career building. At GLS University's Faculty of Commerce SMPIC, we emphasize the practical aspect of the career building for its students, and with that, we have initiated this lecture series called Academics and Beyond. We shall get the opportunity of interacting with some truly successful personalities around us to get their views and perspectives based on their experience while reaching where they stand today in life. I take this wonderful opportunity to thank our President of GLS University, Shri Sudhirbhai Nanavati, and GLS management to extend their valuable support for organizing this series of sessions on virtual platform. On this National Sports Day, we are fortunate of inviting a speaker with us, someone who has a very rare mix of a quality career. He is a lawyer who presently operates a very successful law firm in the state of Gujarat that specializes in property and corporate commercial law. As its managing partner, but more significantly, he is the former professional national cricketer who played substantial quality cricket in India as well as England during his earlier days. It's a nice opportunity on this day to hear directly from the horse's mouth the perspective of a professional sportsman who shifted into an alternate career and still managed to excel as an accomplished lawyer. I'm sure that the takeaway that he has to share of what it really takes to build an accomplished career is going to be invaluable for our students. Before I formally welcome our speaker, Mr. Kirat Damani, let me invite our Dean, CA Dr. Marzun Joki sir, who has been instrumental and the driving force to organize such series of lectures. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Ashal ma'am. Good morning, dear students, Mr. Kirat Damani, guest speaker, and colleagues Dr. Ashal Bhatt and Dr. Keyur Vora. John F. Kennedy said, and hereby I quote, "Every accomplishment starts with the decision to try." The National Sports Day in India celebrated on 29th August on the birth anniversary of hockey, the legend hockey player Major Dhyan Chand. Young people spend a large portion of their time at schools and colleges. I think along with quality education, it is vital that sports and physical education are made an accessible and regular part of learning during these formative years. Dr. Sudhir Nanavati sir, our visionary president of GLS University, has always believed that knowledge, attitude, experience, and skills necessary to become productive and responsible member of a society can be gained from a proper balance of sports and education. Sports and education goes beyond building physical stamina to instill qualities such as determination, willpower, discipline, and team spirit. Knowledge is very vital in life's transformation and transition. In line with our vision of molding minds and shaping career, today we have arranged a virtual session on path to an accomplished career. At SMPIC, we all believe that to accomplish great things, we must dream as well as act. Today we are extremely fortunate to have, as rightly mentioned by Dr. Ashal ma'am, an eminent lawyer, a former national cricketer, a TEDx speaker, Mr. Kirat Damani, who will be sharing his expertise and experience. And on behalf of GLS University Faculty of Commerce, SMPIC, I express sincere gratitude to Mr. Kirat Damani for accepting our invitation. Thank you so much, sir. Studies and sports complement each other and are crucial for the growth of students. And when carried out together, they will increase your potential. Knowledge from academics, coupled with leadership and team spirit from sports, will help you in shaping your personality. And in conclusion, will end by appreciating efforts of Dr. Ashal Bhatt for a wonderful coordination. And from my side, towards the end, I sincerely believe that there is no progress or accomplishment without sacrifice. If what you have yesterday still looks big to you, you haven't done much today. Thank you all, and requesting Dr. Ashal ma'am to continue the session forward.
Thank you so much, sir, for your inspiring words and your encouragement. Now, let me take this opportunity of introducing our speaker formally. Mr. Kirat Damani is a lawyer and a managing partner of AC Damani and Advocates, a real estate and corporate commercial law firm. After undergoing his 3 years solicitor's articleship with economic laws practice at Mumbai, he is now heading his law firm based out of Ahmedabad and Vadodara as a second generation lawyer. No wonder he is an excellent TEDx speaker as well. He is a former national cricketer who represented and captained Gujarat Ranji Trophy and also played English County in the Sussex Premier League. Presently, Kirat sir is the chairman of selectors of the Gujarat Ranji Trophy Selection Committee. He, along with his former cricket colleagues from college, founded HLRU, a non-profit body that supports financially non-privileged, young talented cricketers and sportsmen and women from the state, providing them the aid in form of scholarships to excel and pursue their dreams. Kirat sir, I would like to mention that SMPIC has both boys as well as girls cricket team as well. Kirat sir is also the co-founder of 079 Stories, one of the very famous art galleries of Ahmedabad. He emphasizes that the right work ethic and attitude is equally or more significant than merely having the skill and the ability. He believes that contribution by each and every individual is probably the strongest mode of cohesive growth of the society at large. Last but not the least, he is a proud alumni of Gujarat Law Society, as he has been a student of MK High School as well as Elisha Law College. Both the colleges and schools are at our own GLS University campus. So we welcome you, sir. And now it is absolutely over to you, because I'm sure students are more than eager to hear your experiences. Kirat sir, firstly, can you share with us about the two distinct and diverse careers that you have approached? Sports at its highest level and now as a lawyer. Over to you, Kirat.
Firstly, thank you. Good morning, everyone. And it's a matter of pleasure and pride for me to have been invited to speak with my own fellow alumni, as an alumni to my own fellow students at university. I'm a proud student of, as Ashal said, proud student of MK Higher Secondary School, and and Elisha Law College. I in fact have also the pleasure of having studied with Ashil, during my school days. And two distinct careers. It's all started with GLS campus. That's where I first started playing my school cricket. Sudhir Nanavati sir was visionary even then, and I think the way our school played cricket in the inter-school tournament, even then was phenomenal. And I had the pleasure of representing GLS. GLS as a name, GLS was the inter-school team. It used to be called GLS Xavier's, Vidyanagar High School, Diwan Balubhai School. The GLS was as GLS, not MK. And it was always a matter of pride to have represented GLS. I captained also in the junior cricket under 16s and under 19s. And, I've been very fortunate to have what Ashil just asked, that how do I see these two distinct careers? It's been a fortunate journey, I guess, to have had great experience of being a sports person, and sometimes as a professional sportsman, when you play competitive sport, it gives you another level of opportunity of understanding your own self, and understanding the harsh realities of life, because nothing comes easy. You're accountable for everything that you do. You are expected to deliver at a very young age, and then when you're done with your sport, in my case, I decided to get into law because I'm a second generation. My father's also a lawyer, and when I decided to to kind of shift into an alternate career, after having played a lot of sports through my young age, from my teens to my youth, and to carry on from there, I decided to get into law eventually. And as Ashil mentioned, I went to Bombay to undergo my articleship with solicitorship, and now it's very fulfilling to be owning a law firm with a dozen lawyers working with me, around me, and delivering in the same manner how I used to deliver as a team when I used to play, represent, and captain different cricket teams around the city, state, or country, or maybe outside India. And I think it's no different broadly. It's more or less the same alignment and same combination when it comes to representing an organization and representing a team. It's not much different. The work ethic, the principles, all those remain same. And it's been a great opportunity, I would say. I've been very fortunate to have both careers, to have being very diverse, but today I can say that they are well aligned. No wonder we end up doing what we do with alignment.
Yes, wonderful sharing your experiences of GLS as well. Now, how have you seen these two different careers? Are there any similarities? And how could you adopt the change and transit from a completely outdoor sport to an indoor intellectual legal life?
As I said, there's a big similarity, not in technique. I believe that life is broadly split in two things. Everything that we do is either there are two facets: technique and tactic. So technique is a skill that allows you to do a particular thing. If I am a batsman, then I need to understand the technique as a batsman. If I'm a bowler, I need to understand how to bowl. If I am an engineer, if I am a lawyer, if I am a chartered accountant, if I'm a professor, if I'm an entrepreneur, my skill set changes. The expectation out of me changes in terms of my ability and skill. However, then there is something called tactic, which is who you are, which is what your attitude is. If you are someone who is disciplined per se, you're going to be disciplined in anything that you do. If you're someone who is committed to your task, you're going to be committed in no matter what you do. So I believe that when you ask me the similarity, I think I'll make it easy for students as well here, that everything or anything that you intend to do, I think it's largely the two facets, the technique and the tactic. As they say, that the technique is the skill and ability of doing a particular thing, understanding the nuances, which also includes getting a degree to do something. If I wanted to be a lawyer, I need to have a legal degree. I need to have a law degree. If I want to practice medicine, I need to be a doctor. So that's my technique, that's my skill, that's my ability. The similarity comes in the tactic side of anything that you do. Has a way to do it, and you always will see that in any profession, in any business, in any field, in any category of life, the ones who have had the right tactic, which means the right attitude, the right preparation, the right work ethic, I think they will always look separate. They will always depart from the ones who probably are not. And the one similarity I found in the tactic is that it probably requires the same amount of involvement, focus. So the kind of focus, involvement, discipline, determination, relentlessness, hard work, that you require to be a sportsman, especially a competitive sportsman, because you are expected to deliver. If you're a batsman, you got to constantly score runs. If you are a bowler, you constantly take wickets, because there's someone else always waiting to get into the team, so you can't take your position for granted. So that accountability and responsibility that started at a very young age to deliver. I remember having started to play for the Gujarat state at the age of 14, walking out into the Sardar Patel Stadium here, playing a match against Maharashtra. And the feeling was different when you're representing the entire state team at the age of 14. I think, you're expected to perform. And that similarity, when I'm going out as a lawyer today, every client of mine is expecting me to deliver, because something very important for my client is on stake. So one thing I've learned is there is no alternate to certain things, no matter what field, category, or life that you are in. There is no shortcut, or there is no alternate to that. And as I said, things like working hard. I mean, working hard is something I'd like to tell you students at this point in time, that you guys are blessed with the kind of opportunity you're getting at such a beautiful university, where your professors and your dean and your school management is taking the pain to, or maybe making an effort, rather, if not pain, making an effort to do such sessions, or probably have the faculties of the quality they have, and have the curriculum they have the campus they have, are giving you a wholesome infrastructure for you to be prepared to not worry about things and deliver. So with that, it's if I ask you that, do you need to breathe? You don't need to be told to breathe, because it's a process. It's a process to survive. So working hard, working per se, and then working hard, working joyous, working a lot, but you got to be involved. You got to be working. There is no alternate to that. If you see, and that working is a process. It's not a struggling synonym. It's not something that you only work when you're growing. If you see the biggest people today, Amitabh Bachchan works more or equal than any young actors. Narendra Modi, our Prime Minister, maybe works probably equally or more. If you see Ratan Tata or Mukesh Ambani, they've grown out to another level. Any field you take. If you see a Virat Kohli today, he's probably the best batsman in the world. But the number of hours that Virat puts in today, even with his training, with his skills, with his fielding, with his batting, the number of hours that he puts in is much more than anybody else, and therefore he ends up getting much more. So the one similarity I would say in the interest, because it's not about me, of who I am. The reason that we are talking today is not about what I achieved. It's not about my celebration. It's about celebration of of how we all should be. On this National Sports Day, on this, I'm trying to share with you of certain very simple, basic things which are going to make which are in the times to come. You guys are probably between the age of 18 and 22, and this is the most beautiful age, or most right age, I would say, to develop certain sort of habits, certain sort of discipline, because that's gonna stay with you for the rest of your life. And what the habits that I formed when I was 14, 15, I think they still are with me. The way I look at things, the way I approach things, the way I deliver things, the way I think about those things. I think they've stayed, because I got a perspective of looking at things in a particular manner. So whatever you guys are going to be looking at this point in time, I guess it's gonna stay with you, and it's an endless process. It's applicable to everybody, but especially when it comes to university, especially when it comes to students. You guys have come from wherever to come to this university with a motive of getting into something in awareness in your adult life. You're now getting adult, and and that's the time where you probably have decided your path, decided to go on a particular route to achieve something in life. And I think these are the things that I'll want to share with you during this talk. And Ashal, I hope I'm answering your question right.
Yes, yes, absolutely. In fact, I really feel that this is a big takeaway for students. And it's almost, at the age of 14, when you end up having a right perspective, when you end up having discipline, that carries so much of importance. And this is what I think this generation needs to learn from, successful people like you, that how to form a right perspective. That's a very, very important thing. Another thing that the students had in their mind when we shared that we are having this kind of piece from your side, they wanted to frame or ask a question that what inspired you to be a sports person?
What inspired me is, I think, I think I was fortunate that my parents figured out that I belonged here. I used to, when I used to be a kid at home in my vacations, I used to play a lot of cricket inside my house, and I think my parents figured that out, that this boy needs to channelize his energy on the ground, because this is kind of, he's always, every time I used to get some time after my school or my homework or any other activities that I was expected to do, the moment I got any free time, right from the age of 10, maybe even earlier, by the age of 7, because I first went to a cricket camp when I was 8, and my mother had sent me. And I think once I went on the cricket field, I think I loved the smell of the ground. I loved the feel of the cricket ball. I loved that dynamism of a bat hitting the ball at the right time. When the ball comes to you, probably time yourself and hit the ball. I like that entire framework. And then when I did that for a couple of years, I remember, I was 11 when Sachin Tendulkar in 1989, I think when I was 11, that's the age Sachin at the age of 16 made his international debut. And whatever little I could watch on the TV and the newspapers, I saw that little kid, uh, facing international cricket at the age of 16, 17, when most of us don't even know what to do in life. And I think that entire, that drove me. When I'm having goosebumps even now when I'm talking to you, because I can relate to that age. I can remember exactly how I felt, and that's it. I think this inspiration is the goosebumps now, because I feel that's something which is very natural. And my inspiration did come, out of how I was brought up. I was always told sports does make a lot of difference. My earlier generation was not as privileged financially, so my father, also being a good cricketer, probably could not make it. And I think I heard stories from my grandmother of how he was a good cricketer, but my grandmother and my grandfather could not afford to give him that spot, or the opportunity, given that big family and limited resources. But I think, with that and the exposure to the cricket ground, and having seen someone like a Sachin Tendulkar pretty early in my life, I think a combination of that probably drawn me towards taking it more seriously. And when you start doing something, when you start feeling the alignment with that thing, when you start getting the opportunity, when you start getting the support, you start feeling that you belong there. How a lot of students are here today, they would have come from different places, different cities, and how their families are supporting them, how they are putting up this entire scheme of things together for them to fund their studies, to allow them the time away, to miss them while they are away. So it's cohesive, it's a collective effort. When we get into something, I think it's not just us. There's a lot of other forces and a lot of other situations also. They form part of this entire unit. And I think my inspiration came from very small things. Like, as I said, my family. uh, having smelled the cricket ground and having seen someone like a Tendulkar at a very early age.
That suddenly reminds me of a show where Abhishek Bachchan was asked कि आपने क्यों actor बनना पसंद किया. So he was sharing that while watching Sachin at a very very young age, one thing was sure for me, that I had decided that cricket is not my cup of tea. So I'm sure that Sachin, Virat, all are examples in front of us of good dedication as well as discipline. Now, one more question is that can you share that did the sportsman in you help build your legal professional career as well?
Yeah, as I said, Ashal, earlier, that of course it did, because when I finished playing my sport, I started playing juniors cricket for the state, under 16s, under 19s. Then I went on to play Ranji Trophy, which is a senior hardcore cricket from which the Indian cricket team is selected. Then I played with the giants of Tendulkars and Gangulys and Kumble's and Harbhajans and whoever. Then I was out there in the real world, playing with them. Then I also opted to play as a professional in the English County League, where I used to travel. There was only one non-resident English cricketer allowed per county league club. They used to hire professionals from here, from wherever the world they want to, outside England. And then I used to be the only one who was a non-resident British. And so a lot of things happened during that time, and that transition, I must say that, at the age of 29, I felt that I had given all I had, and I was very happy with how I was playing cricket. But there was always going to be an age in competitive sport, and when I was peaking my time, the Indian cricket team was pretty strong, and my aim was to play for India. So then I happened to meet a few lawyers in Ahmedabad who were from Bombay. And then I had a conversation, and they offered me an opportunity to do my internship in Bombay in a law firm, and that allowed me to think positive towards my legal career. And I knew that I had a great opportunity of making a good legal career, having been the second generation, my father being a lawyer too, and I had seen him. I'd grown at home, seeing my father being a lawyer. So there was always a natural subconscious connect of seeing a lawyer, every day at home. So it was very natural for me to have kind of shifted into it. And when I shifted into it, I think I carried on the same principles. I never took a day lightly. You can never take any day lightly on sport, because today you may score 100, you may be a Tendulkar or a Virat Kohli, but next morning you can be bowled out for a 0, and then there's no bigger leveler, I believe, than a sport, and especially cricket, how I played. So in a competitive sport, it levels you out. Nobody can be bigger than the sport. Nobody can be bigger than the organization or the area of work they represent. And I think that that attitude, of taking everything. I tend to do very few things in my life, but whatever I do, I involve myself, and I think that's the habit I formed when I was playing sport. Because when I grew up, I did not end up going into parties, much birthday parties and this and that, because at a very young age I started getting up at 5:30 a.m. Because I had to be on the cricket field at 6 a.m. in the summers and maybe 6:30 in the winters. So the nights were early. I used to go to bed pretty early. I used to get up pretty early, and then that cycle formed, because then there was always a goal in mind to constantly improve myself every day in whatever I'm doing, in batting skills, bowling skills, fielding skills, leadership skills, teams, this, that. So that formed a habit. And then when I decided to shift into the legal career, when I was almost 29, 30, when I shifted to Mumbai, I started with scratch. I started almost as an intern. At the age of 30, I was probably assisting lawyers at the age of 20, 21. For 2 years, I was just kind of assisting. But that habit, that attitude of keeping your head down and focusing on whatever you are doing, that is something allowed me to keep my head in place, oblivion or ignorant to everything in the world. Because when you're playing cricket, when you're batting, the ball is coming to you at the speed of 140, 50 kilometers per hour. By the time it leaves the bowler's arm, it's half a second, not even 1 second. It's less than half a second by when it comes to you, and your reaction time is very, very small. To take decisions of whether to play, to hit, where to play, how to play. So that at that point in time, you can't be thinking of anything else in the world. Otherwise, that ball is gonna kill you. It can really hurt you, kill you, or get you out. So that habit of relentlessly focusing on one thing and being ignorant to the sound and the and the chaos outside that, that allowed me to again go into the depth of practicing law from the scratch, and understanding it from the grassroots, getting into the fundamentals, kind of not allowing any chaos to bother me, and that's one thing which probably, I find the transition and the similarity, pretty strong. And today, where I stand, it didn't take me too long to. I mean, I don't compete with people of where they stand in life, but if I may just say of how I'm doing, just to give a perspective to the students here, I'm doing pretty well in terms of how I am executing my transactions and assignments today. And some lawyers, I'm only probably less than 10 years into practice, because I interned in Bombay till the age of 33. And it's not even 10 years into my legal practice, but I think I've done pretty good to have been in the same alignment zone and arena where probably people are practicing law for over 20 years. So my attitude towards sport and the way I understood how to do things has helped me to kind of cover a lot of time and ground in a shorter period, in a better manner. And I feel I'm placed pretty well to do good job, because end of the day, I'm still delivering for my clients.
Yeah, so I'm sure a lot of sacrifices were there and a lot to learn from that, because this generation has so much of exposure to media, to a lot of other things. So putting that aside and focusing on career is going to be very, very important. Another question is that according to
So when
you,
you say that, Ashal, I'll say it's not really sacrifice. It's just commitment. You don't really sacrifice. You don't sacrifice bringing your children up.
yeah, yeah,
All the students here, they've seen their parents doing what they've done. So it's not sacrifice. It's just the commitment. So
correct,
sacrifice is probably a negative way of looking at it. I would rather say that if they change the term, it's the
yeah,
commitment and the intent to do something. And
absolutely.
today's, I'd like to make this very strong statement that today's time, when you say media, I think the social media is something which is a big distraction.
Mm,
Because what you need to eliminate out of your system, you need to first understand what all you need to eliminate. When you're working on something, you may be 20, you may be 40, you may be 60. In every cadre of life, you need to understand what you should eliminate that to distract you. And today's distraction, to me, for this generation, is the social media, because it's very deceiving. Social media takes away, absorbs a lot of attention, a lot of energy. It exhausts their mind up, it diverts their mind, it takes away the flow of things that they are in today. It really takes them away into a different world, because what you see on social media is very deceiving. Because somebody picking up, you see the artwork behind me, that looks nice, pretty. It looks like I'm sitting in a very nice place. The point is that everything looks amazing, everything looks beautiful. But at that age of in the college, you can get carried away with not understanding behind it, because either the social media pictures and posts, what I'll come to the crux, the subject itself, that why I would like these students to really understand this, is because what you're seeing on the social media is either deceiving, because with the filters and with the technology, one can make things look really more prettier, more attractive, more unreally real, too good to be believed kind of a thing on a social media, which can make one feel that everything is in this life is so beautiful and successful, and why am I left out of it? And that can put your head into finding shortcuts in life, trying to achieve things with not in the manner that you otherwise would have, having gone into the depth of it. Sometimes you start feeling that you're left out, and the feeling of being left out comes in, or feeling of not having that somebody else has comes in, and you all automatically you start thinking, finding speed, quick achievements, speed success, shortcuts in life. And then the other thing that social media also may not be able to portray is the amount of hard work that has gone into sometimes of what you see on social media. So it may look pretty, but then there is an effort of years and years that has gone. So in crux, I would say that keep yourself away from the social media. Use the technology to your benefit. Use the technology to give you those solutions to the questions that you may have. But I mean, if at all you are too conducively attracted to social media, then pick up a time of 15, 20, 30 minutes in a day to just browse, if at all. But the moment you get free, rather go for a jog, rather do listen to your music, rather cook, rather meet your friends in person and talk about something, rather read a book, rather focus on a successful career, who probably you could learn some lessons in the field that you are aspired to be in. Read those, or maybe follow those people, instead of just getting into this getting carried away and getting sold to this very, very hunky-dory, elusive world of social media. That's something that I would very strongly recommend to the kids, the students here, because these are the times which are going to make a strong base for the entire life for you. This 5-7 years are going to be the most crucial time, that is going to probably decide of how you are going to, because the habits that you form in these times are going to stay with you. So then it's up to you of what sort of habits you want to form. I'd say that people say that a strong mind is very important, but I feel that when you have a physically strong body, when you're healthy, it allows your mind to think about things which are otherwise not possible. Okay, so a healthy, strong body pushes your mind to believe that it can achieve more. It can put in more hours, it can put in more efforts. I remember I always used to get distinction in my studies, because when I was reading, I did not do anything else, because the only habit I had is watch the cricket ball. Because if you want to score 100 or score a century in cricket, as a batsman, you only get one ball to get out. One mistake all day and you're out. As a bowler, you may get too many chances. Even if you're hit for a 4, you get another ball to bowl. But as a batsman, the moment you play a bad shot, you are out. It could be at 10 runs, it could be at 34 runs, it could be at 68 runs, it could be at 99 runs, and then you are gutted with yourself. Then you are disappointed with yourself. So you tend to focus, because if you want to score 100 as a batsman, you cannot take one ball lightly. Exactly when that happened to my studies, when I read, I was into my reading, may it be law, may it be my studies from the age of grade 8, because I was traveling with my squad from the grade 8, grade 9. I was traveling around the country playing for Gujarat State. But every time I came back, when I used to study, I did not have distractions. I did not have anything else in my mind, but because I formed a habit to just focus on what I'm doing. So this time, social media and all that is a lot of time in life. Even if you have time, that's something that I would not want to advise to do. There are a lot of better things to entertain you, instead of knowing just random people's life, because that takes away a lot of energy and a lot of attention from you, which then diverts you when you have to come back to your own the primary thing that you are doing. It will take away your attention and form into a bad habit. So I very strongly, one of the very strong important things I'd say that throw it out of your system. Use technology to help you to learn things, but don't get into the social media for the sake of social awareness of how. I mean, when I say social awareness, the materialistic awareness, not the social awareness. Read politics, read economics, read analysis, read GDP, use the technology, start early. Instead, start saving your money. If you have $500, save that. Know how to invest that $500 that's available on technology. You can read stories of Warren Buffett instead. So I'm just trying to give you a perspective that eliminate distractions. You may not do too many things in life, but whatever you do, just do them as involvingly and perfectly.
Also, one of the student, he's curious to know that, sir, how you really felt after completing your first century in Ranji Trophy tournament.
Oh, it was a great feeling because I was fortunate to have scored my first century in my Ranji Trophy career at probably the biggest cricket ground, the most culturally rich cricket ground, the most historic cricket ground in Eden Gardens at Kolkata. When I was that was in the year 2000, 2001 season. And, we were playing a quarterfinal of the Ranji Trophy between Gujarat and West Bengal. And West Bengal was led by Saurav Ganguly, who was also then the Indian captain, was also captaining India. And while he was available, there was no Indian cricket matches going on. The Indian team was not playing any international matches, and he chose to have come and play, the Ranji Trophy quarterfinal for the state of Bengal, because they would have, got a chance to go ahead and win. So he played, and I remember when I hit a six to Rohan Gavaskar. The legendary Sunil Gavaskar's son Rohan was playing for Bengal, and I was on 94, and I hit a six as a slog sweep to mid wicket. And I remember, it was my first. I was about to get my first 100, a first century in the Ranji Trophy, and I don't know, somehow I was so well confident, and I took the chance of hitting a big shot at 94. And I succeeded, and I got a six, and I got my 100. And I remember explicitly of Saurav Ganguly, and the biggest captain that this country had ever produced, and still captaining the Indian team, had come to me and gave me a pat on my back, and said that, well played, boy, and let this be the first of many centuries to come. I think that was a great feeling. Not only scoring an important 100 for my team, Gujarat, who was playing Ranji Trophy quarterfinal. Who the 100 was on ground like Eden Gardens, and then the current Indian captain, who was probably the strongest player alongside Tendulkar and Dravid we had in the country. Having watched me from the slips and having been on the ground, coming to speak with me, I think it was a beautiful feeling of fulfillment and satisfaction of the efforts that you've made, for years. Because when you are a kid, all you aspire is to play the Ranji Trophy, because that is the paramount eligibility to get into the Indian team. So ever since I started playing from the age of 14, I think it took me those 8, 9, 10 years, 9 years to have lived that dream to score my first Ranji Trophy century. So it was a very, very, very strong, satisfying feeling for me.
Yeah, a lot of hard work, lot of commitment, and lot of satisfaction in return, I'm sure. Will you please share with us that what, according to you, are the do's and don'ts that you feel that you would like to share with this generation students?
I think, as I said earlier, I think we are all coming from different generation. The Dean sir here came from a different generation. Ashal, you and I came the generation after. Now we have this generation here. So broadly, we all go by the times, the expectations. Probably when Dean sir studied through his career, there was no internet. When probably we studied, it was just the beginning of internet in the late 90s, but we didn't have too much of access, even the mobile phones. Today, the present generation probably, know life only by virtue of internet and phones, which is fine. So there's not a complaint. But then I think given that, some things remain constant, and some things cannot change. Like, you got to be very responsible. Now, responsibility can be executed in different ways. But even if you were born in 1940, even if whether you were born in 1970, whether you were born in 1990, whether you were born in 2000, 2005. The responsibility of your own self does not change. You got to be, you got to feel extremely grateful. When I say responsibility, you got to be very responsible for who you are, because you're representing your family. Respect your parents. That's something I'd say, that no matter who you become, when you go beyond that mindset, when you forget where you come from, I think that's something which can really disturb your life. No matter what you achieve in life, that will really detach you substantially. So a very, very simple, sort of advice, that be very accountable for every act that you do. Be responsible in who you are. Be always grateful for what has allowed you to be where you are today, because that will allow you to be humble inside, focus, take things more seriously and not take things for granted. And then, as I said, that I mean, one doesn't need to be told that you need to breathe to live. Yeah. So, the do's for me are: try and identify, where you belong. I mean, that's the most beautiful thing. Figure out who you are, which area of which field you belong to, and jump into it. The biggest do, a very significant do, I'd say, is that don't have plan B. Just stick to plan A. Don't try to be too calculative in your commitment, because the moment you start having different plans for yourself, I think you'll never be able to give 100% to one plan. And the ability to give 100% to one plan, which is plan A, not only allows you to really enjoy the process, involve in it, understand the subject well, but if you're able to overcome that, you will be specialized in something, and have a great identity of yourself, in the field that you are in, and you'll be able to really contribute. You'll be, of course, professionally and financially be well rewarded, but you'll be able to contribute really well back, when you're accomplished. What we are talking, a path to an accomplished career. I differ from the word successful, because success has its limitations. But when you talk about an accomplished career, it means it's a complete career. And what makes you complete is your wholesome growth. Not just one way growth of achieving a particular thing. Simultaneously, you have to also, allow yourself to be grown. You have to be physically healthy, you have to be mentally healthy, you have to be career wise successful, you should have a great relationship with your colleagues, with your family. It's a combination of a lot of things. So I would say an accomplished career is something when you're able to bring a general life together. And for that, as I said, avoid social media distractions. Do not have a plan B. Just go for plan A. Try and figure out as early as possible
Yes. Can you hear us?
I think there is some connectivity problem. We can just wait.
Yeah.
figure it out as early as possible, and just allow, don't
Yeah, I think there is some connectivity issue, and
Yes. We can
yeah,
just wait for some time, because
yes,
I think Kirat sir will be joining. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think now
Can you
it is
see me
clear.
now, Ashal?
Yeah, it
Now,
is clear, sir. It is clear. Yeah.
yes, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. And
One more part.
I'll continue with that.
Yeah,
Am I
please.
audible?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
And for the don't especially, don't fall into trap of bad habits. Just stay away from certain negatives. It's the time for you to your fulfillment should come. I mean, I'll be very blunt. I mean, drinking, smoking, and weeding, and this and that. You know, that's something that can probably indulge you, but long term, you know, try to be extremely healthy. Don't get into certain habits for now. Raise yourself, reach somewhere, evolve yourself, then think of it. Right now you are representing your family. A lot of efforts have gone into for you to be where you are. The university is putting in lot of efforts, the faculties, the dean, the management. You yourself are putting a lot of effort, sacrificing or maybe committing from staying away from the family and doing what you're doing. So define your mode of fun and enjoyment in a better way. Be extremely fit, because staying physically fit will always, as much as you can whenever you get time, have a healthy body, which will also be supporting to a healthy mind. And don't find shortcuts. Don't have plan Bs. Don't get distracted. Just focus on the thing that you want to do, and allow yourself 100%. You don't want to regret tomorrow that you didn't give your 100%. Results are fine. They ought to come in some manner or other, but you don't want to tell yourself that you could have done better. And that's the way I would have looked life for you guys.
I hope Ganesh Mudalir, that answers your question, because he raised a question that, sir, what is your message to the upcoming young Indian cricketers? So I am sure that this suffices. Another thing is that Indian youth was still now behind cricket and cricketers. But the recent achievements in Olympics, in fact, our own SMP student Mana Patel represented at Olympics this time, and various other sports, they've diverted the interest from cricket. What is your take on this?
Oh, I strongly believe, today I am in the position of being the chairman of selectors of the Ranji Trophy cricket team, and I am the one who is responsible to decide and select the Ranji Trophy cricket team. And every time I go on the cricket field today, not as a player, I see a completely different breed. I'm in love with the way this generation is putting in effort, and I would like to see that. Why should it be restricted to just one sport? Because this country has been like that. I think cricket, Bollywood, and maybe politics to an extent, I think these three have always gotten better or more attention than anything else. But that does not take away any sport. And I'd love to see, we have kabaddi leagues now, we have football leagues, we have hockey leagues. Mana, of course, we've facilitated Mana ourselves at the HLRU, where we are supporting. In my introduction, you mentioned that we run a body called HLRU, which is supportive of those sports people, not only cricketers, but those sports people who come from a not so financially privileged background but are extremely talented. And we urge their parents, and we take them on scholarship to make sure that they don't stop playing that sport only on the grounds of non-availability of the privileges and the resources that their parents could not provide for now. So it's something that is very important. I think each one of us who are in the position of decision making at universities, or people like me or people like you, I think we all must promote more and more sports, because the traction cannot be at only one place. Everyone has a different skill set. Every sport has a different muscle memory. Some kid must be really good at playing football with stronger legs. Every sport and every category of life, it requires a different muscle memory, and I think everyone is gifted with a different muscle memory. And I think right now that needs to be supported by the people in the management, and then collectively I'm sure that we'll be able to pull that off. But it's a great feeling. More and more sports must be played, because there is no better character builder. I don't think there is anything more real than a competitive sport. There is not anything more character building than playing a competitive sport, because it teaches you how to digest defeats, because you can't win every day, but you still have to get up every day. It gives you that attitude of relentlessness. It gives you that attitude of preparation, because you cannot reach anywhere in life unless you prepare yourself within yourself, unless you really make those small things significantly important. Getting up on time, reaching places on time, eating the right thing. It requires a lot of commitment to be a sportsman, because you need to be mentally and physically so fit, and that effectively is applicable to anything in life. So what a sport can build, is great. So the kids here at this age may not be in the times to be playing a competitive sport, but I'd say that staying very healthy, staying very strong physically is very important.
And along with that, I mean, how sports taught you time management, discipline? The students want to know tips for that.
Ma'am, I think there is some connectivity problem. We need to wait. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you hear me, Kirat sir?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now you are audible, but your video is paused.
I don't know, but okay. Is it okay now?
Yeah, it is okay.
Yes, yes.
Can you hear me?
Your voice is breaking a
Then I
bit.
can at least, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
now
time
it's
management and all, I think the one thing that I've learned with sport is like an army regime. You cannot be ever late,
yeah,
because when I
voice is with a pause.
grew up, I
Sorry, voice is still breaking with a pause.
okay. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, yeah, now we can hear you.
Am I audible, Ashil? Or
Yes, now you are audible. But still, again, it is seems to be some connectivity issue.
Yes, ma'am. We will wait for some time.
Yeah,
Let Kirat
sure.
sir join in again. Yeah.
Yes, yes. He is joining again.
Yes, yes.
Sir, I'm sure that students are having a nice time because a lot of students are requesting Kirat sir to be on campus. So it is,
We will also request him. I will
yes,
request him personally towards the end. Yeah.
yes, yes.
Keyur sir. Kirat sir is joining again.
Yes, sir, he is joining again. Yeah.
I think Keyur sir will need to
Ah,
add him again.
yes.
Yes, I think now it is clear.
Yes, now it is clear.
Yes, sir, it is clear. Yeah.
Yeah, it's better. Can you see me?
Yes.
Can you see me, Ashal?
Yes, we can see you and hear you, but there are some pauses in between.
Can you see me, Ashal?
Yes, we can see
Okay,
you.
okay.
Yes.
Yes,
Now
sir.
it
Yeah,
I
is.
think
sorry.
now it is clear.
Can
Yeah.
Yeah.
can you hear me too? Yeah.
Yes, yes, you are audible. Perfect.
Okay, fine. Sorry for that. I think I don't know what just got a mishap.
It's, the
Yeah.
technical glitches are always there. That's okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah, one last thing that
Yeah.
I spoke in your introduction also that you are a GLS alumni. So
Yeah.
how your alma mater GLS has shaped you as a sports person as well as an eminent lawyer. So I'm sure that students will love to hear that as well.
Oh, I think that two things that what I've realized is two things that play a very important role in anybody's eventual anybody's career is the way you are brought up at home and the education institute that you get a chance to go to. And I've been privileged with both because I think I had a very strong character built upbringing at home, and then I got a great opportunity of being at GLS, which gave me the right support. Because I remember that I could not be present for when I was in MK growing up especially from grade 8 till grade 12. Someone like Sudhir sir was really visionful, where he allowed me to not really be present at the school. Of course, I was told that I cannot take my studies for granted, but the support I got from the school that identified the talent in me and to invest that talent in me, to allow me the time out of the schooling hours and I think that is something which was something phenomenal, and I can't be more grateful to that campus, which gave every time I walked in, and then I came back to law. After I finished my commerce graduation, I came back to law. To GLS campus again, and I think today my practice that as a lawyer that I'm built on, my degree has come from Alisha Law College. So I think I could not be more grateful to the GLS campus and the university for the role that it has played in my life to shape me up the way I am today. That is invaluable for me. I think absolutely inevitable for me to not. I mean, I would not have been where I am today had it not been what I got from GLS per se.
Yeah, so the same GLS campus and the students are calling you back as well. I'll
Oh
request
yeah.
the
Ashal ma'am, can I come in for a minute
please,
before you
please.
formally end?
Yeah, we are
Yeah,
waiting.
if I want to summarize today's session, just a one-line summary is that the takeaway of your session is that the only person who can stop us from reaching our goals is, I think, our own self. That I can summarize today's session. And it was a real pleasure personally to me listening to you, and I'm equally sure that it would have been for everyone. There is one disappointment, sir, that we have lost the opportunity of interacting with you at the campus. It was a virtual session, but I'm sure that with the grace of God, when everything falls in place, we will again, sir, request you to personally come to the college campus. Thank you so much.
I'm sorry,
In fact,
I'm losing your I lost the voice from you, sir. But on that,
Sir, I will repeat. Today there was one disappointment that we lost the opportunity of interacting with you offline. But I'm equally sure that in the future, with your kind permission, please do come at the college, and the students will have a great time interacting with you, sir.
thank you very much, sir. Thank you. I just say that thank you so much for this opportunity today, and I'm really grateful that I'm very happy. I always believe that Harvard is a Harvard today because of its alumni, and we all must go back to where we belong to, what has made us in our lives, and if we all decide to do that, I'm sure that we are going to make a great second generation coming up for all of us. And I think GLS University is doing a fantastic job, and I wish you all the good luck to the management and the students both. It's a team effort from both the ends. You guys need to collate together and bring out the best for the university as well as the students for a great career ahead. And one thing I'd like to close on is that there is no alternate to being patient and being persistent. So nothing's gonna come straight away. Just stick to your principles. Don't allow yourself to hinder for shortcuts. Be persistent of what you want. It may come a little later, but I'm sure it's gonna come for sure.
And sir,
in
one
fact,
more thing before, I'm sorry, Ashal ma'am, one more thing before Ashal ma'am give a formal vote of thanks, sir, you resemble Virat Kohli much.
it's a huge thing.
Sorry, Ashal. I think if you can repeat because I'm losing sir's voice. I can hear you.
Ajay sir is giving you a compliment that you resemble Virat Kohli much.
Oh, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. We both are scorpions. He's also a scorpion. I'm also a scorpion, sir. So maybe there's also one more similarity. Yeah, we're both passionate. I think that's what sports has taught me: to be real, to be passionate, and whatever you may not do too many things, but whatever you decide to do, just do it wholeheartedly because it gives you a fulfillment and opportunity to be the best in what you're doing. So
And sir, there is one more request coming up from lot of students to keep a selection camp right at GLS University.
oh, of
So
course, of course.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure this is a good news for students.
I'll be more than happy in any manner I can come back to the campus and be part of it. I can give you an unconditional commitment to that that I'd like to be the part of what grew me. I think I'd like to be part of. But one commitment I want from all the students here is that they got to be completely honest, involved in their efforts, and success and results will just follow. But you can't expect things to happen for you. You have to put in what it takes to be wherever you want to be. And it's not what the university has to offer to you, but it's how much you are ready to put in of what the university has to offer in terms of how much can you grab the opportunity of this wonderful logistic infrastructure and support system that you've got. And that should be the way of life in every cadre. You got to give everything that you have.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dean sir. And as it is rightly said that sports is an essential element of education. And that is what we all have learned today, that how discipline, perseverance, patience, everything is going to help us in an accomplished career, in the words of Kirat sir. So, Kirat sir, your experience, your words, I'm sure that it's going to highly motivate our students. And students, in turn, he has asked only for one thing, that is to be honest. It is the most important thing, to become a wonderful human being. Thank you so much, Dean Sir, for this organization of various sessions of academics and beyond lecture series. Thank you, GLS management, to provide us with such wonderful infrastructure facilities. Thank you, Dr. Keur Vora Sir, for your all-time technical help. And thank you so much, students, to be present here and to participate in a regular manner. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good day, sir. Thank you.